Hello, Angular enthusiasts. Have you ever been in a situation where you are building a dynamic Angular app and you hit a roadblock? You know these moments when you need to directly interact with a DOM element, but it feels like you are trying to solve puzzle without all the pieces. Maybe you have tried various methods, but nothing seems to work smoothly. Well, if I told you that there is a powerful tool within Angular that can make this a breeze, yes, I am talking about ViewChild, a feature that could revolutionize the way you handle DOM interactions in your Angular applications. Before we dive into the magic of ViewChild, let me quickly introduce myself. I am Ayazafar and I have been navigating to Angular Cs for over 10 years. During this time, I have not only mastered the Angular's core concepts but have also developed a deep understanding of its more intricate features like ViewChild. In fact, in one of my recent projects, ViewChild played a pivotal role in seamlessly integrating third-party libraries and manipulating DOM elements, leading to a robust and dynamic user interface that our clients loved. So what's in store for you in this tutorial? We are going to embark on a comprehensive journey through the world of ViewChild in Angular 17. We will start by unraveling the basics, what ViewChild is and why it is a game changer in Angular. Then we will move on to how you can implement it in your applications with step-by-step examples. But that's not all. We will also delve into advanced use cases, best practices, and the exciting new features of ViewChild. By the end of this tutorial, you will not only understand ViewChild inside out, but will also be equipped to implement it effectively in your projects, enhancing your app's performance and your productivity. So if you are ready to elevate your Angular skills to next level, let's get started. Now imagine you are building an Angular app and you need to directly interact with a specific element in your template, perhaps to focus on an input field as soon as your app loads or dynamically change the content of a paragraph. This is where ViewChild comes into play. ViewChild is a decorator in Angular that allows your component class to access DOM elements directly. What makes ViewChild so powerful is its ability to grant you direct access to a component, directive, or DOM element from your template. This is crucial for when you need to interact with the element's properties or invoke its methods. Now you might wonder, how is ViewChild different from the traditional methods of accessing DOM elements like using document.getElement by ID in JavaScript? The key difference lies in Angular's data binding and rendering cycle. ViewChild respects this cycle, ensuring that your interactions with DOM are always in sync with Angular's change detection mechanism. This means fewer errors, better performance, and more Angular-friendly way of handling DOM interactions. Let's put theory in practice and see ViewChild in action. We will start with the basic implementation of ViewChild in simple Angular application. Our goal here will be to access a paragraph element in our template and change its text dynamically. Here is a simple HTML file with a paragraph element. In this code, notice the hash myParagraph template reference variable. This is how we will identify our paragraph element in the component class. Now let's jump into our TypeScript file and see how we can access this paragraph using ViewChild. So I will be using app component class. So here, first of all, I will add the decorator ViewChild. Make sure to import it from Angular/core, and in this, I will pass the name of the template reference variable that I have specified in my HTML, my paragraph, and then we will give it a name as our variable, okay, and add type element ref. Make sure to import the element ref also from the Angular core. The compiler is giving us some warning that property paragraph has no initializer, and is not definitely assigned in constructor. So either you have to assign it value in the constructor or you should make it optional like this. After that, we will implement the lifecycle method hook that would be after view init. Now we will implement that function ng after view init, and within that I will use if this dot paragraph. If paragraph is defined and available to use, this dot paragraph dot native element dot text content is equal to new text after view init. You will see that new text after view init. It will not show the actual text that was there earlier because it happened so quickly that view was initialized in very small amount of time, and immediately it took that paragraph element and it replaced the content. So in this code, we first import the ViewChild and element ref from the Angular core. The ViewChild decorator is used to reference my paragraph, and we store it in a property named paragraph. This property is an instance of element ref, which is Angular's wrapper around native DOM elements. The magic happens in ng after view init lifecycle hook. Here we are accessing the native element of our paragraph and changing its text content. It's important to do this in ng after view init because by this point Angular has fully initialized the component's view, ensuring that our DOM elements are accessible. And there you have it, a basic but powerful implementation of ViewChild in Angular. Now that we have seen ViewChild in its basic form, let's dive into some of more advanced scenarios. ViewChild isn't just limited to accessing DOM elements, it can also be incredibly useful for interacting with child components and their methods, or even template reference variables. Let's explore these advanced use cases with some practical examples. First, we will talk about accessing child component methods. So imagine you have a child component in your Angular application that contains a method you want to access from a parent component. For instance, you might have a timer component with a method to start the timer. How do we access this from the parent? Let's have a look. So for that, I need to generate a new component first, ng generate app component timer. This would generate a new folder along with all of its required files in the timer folder. Now we need to import this component in our app component.ts file. As I'm using standalone component, so I don't need a separate app module to declare this new component. I can simply import it in the imports array by using timer component. If you are still using app module, if you are not using standalone component, you can still declare it in your app module, so that will still work. Now let's go to the app.component and I'm going to replace this with app timer, or let me add like this. Okay, and in the ts file, let's remove this for now and let's remove this as well. Okay, and here I will add template reference variable timer component. Okay, in the parents template, we place a reference to our child component app timer and give it a template reference variable timer component. Now let's see how to access this from a parent component. Now I'm going to app.component.ts file, and here I will define a property called. So first of all, I will add ViewChild and give it the same name that we have specified in the template reference variable, that is timer component, and add a variable called timer component and make it optional. And here we have specified the class name as the type of this component. Now in ng after view init, I will use if this dot timer component is ready to be used or available or true, then we will call its function, whatever we want to call. But before calling that function, I have to go into that component and define that function. So let's do that. Let timer is equal to 0, and actually to add timer, let here. So here I will define a function start timer, and we will add set interval. Okay, and we will keep incrementing the timer property by using ++. Okay, now I will quickly display this value in my HTML. I will use h1 tag. Okay, now save it. You can see we have the timer value being shown here. Now go back to the app component.ts, and here I will add this dot timer component. If you type dot, you will see the suggestions, and this will show you the list of all of the properties and functions or methods within that component. I want to call the start timer function, so click on that and call it. So let's test it. You can see it is running very fast. The reason is that we did not specify any wait period. So here I will add 1 second of delay, and now you can see it is changing after every 1 second. So let me quickly explain again here. Here we use the ViewChild to get reference to the timer component. Then in the ng after view init, we call the start timer method of our child component. This is a powerful way to directly interact with the child components. Next, we will talk about interacting with template reference variables. ViewChild can also be used to access template reference variables. Let's say you have a form input that you want to focus on when a specific condition is met. So this is how you can achieve that. First of all, let's go to the app.component.html and add the input type text and give it a template reference variable, my input. Okay. So in this template, we define an input element with a template reference variable, my input. Now let's access this input in our component.ts file. So here I will define another ViewChild here, ViewChild, and give it the name, my input and element ref. And as this element reference going to contain the HTML input element, so I will add that type as well in the generic type. Now in the ng after view init, I will focus on it, but before that let me show you right now there is no focus on this input. Okay, so now here I will check that if this start my input is truly means available, then this start my input dot native element dot focus. Okay, now you can see that it will focus on this input automatically. So if you click outside of it, the focus will go away, but if you click on it, the focus will be back. So in this example, ViewChild is used to get reference to my input. In the ng after view init method, we then focus on this input. This approach is particularly useful for managing user interaction patterns within your application. As we delve deeper into the world of ViewChild in Angular, it's important to be mindful of best practices and common pitfalls. Using ViewChild effectively can significantly enhance your app, but missteps can lead to bugs and performance issues. Let's discuss some key best practices and how to avoid common pitfalls. First and foremost, that timing is crucial when using ViewChild. The Angular lifecycle hook ng after view init is your best friend here. Why? Because ViewChild relies on DOM elements that are only available after Angular has rendered the view. If you try to access ViewChild properties before ng after view init, you will likely end up with undefined errors. So let's see an example of right usage. Next, avoiding direct DOM manipulation when possible. So when ViewChild gives you direct access to DOM elements, it's generally best to avoid manipulating the DOM directly. Why? Because Angular's data binding and rendering system is designed to handle most DOM updates. Direct manipulation can lead to performance issues and can make your code less predictable. Instead, try to use Angular's binding mechanisms whenever possible. ViewChild can affect Angular's change detection process. For instance, modifying a child component's property using ViewChild in ng after view init can trigger additional change detection cycles, potentially impacting performance. It's important to be aware of these implications and optimize accordingly. Relying too heavily on ViewChild for tasks that could be achieved with Angular's binding features can lead to cluttered and less maintainable code. As we wrap up this tutorial, let's quickly recap the key points we have covered today. We started by understanding the concept of ViewChild in Angular 17 and its significant role in accessing DOM elements and component instances in more Angular-friendly way. We explored both basic and advanced implementations, including accessing child component method and template reference variables. Through practical examples, we demonstrated how to effectively implement ViewChild, and we delved into best practices and common pitfalls to ensure you use ViewChild efficiently and correctly in your projects. The power of ViewChild in Angular 17 is undeniable, offering a streamlined, efficient approach to interacting with DOM elements and enhancing the capabilities of your Angular applications. Now it's your turn to take these concepts and apply them in your own Angular projects. Experiment with ViewChild and see how it can simplify and improve your application development process. Remember, practice is key to mastering any new skill. So if you found this tutorial helpful, please consider subscribing to channel and giving the video a like. Your support is greatly appreciated and motivates me to create more content like this. Also, if you have any questions, experiences, or insights about using ViewChild, feel free to share them in the comments below. I love hearing from you and I am always eager to engage with our growing community. Thank you for watching, and special thank you to those who have been following and supporting the channel. Here at Ayaz Tech, we strive to bring you high quality informative content on Angular and other web development topics, helping you to stay up to date with the latest trends and technologies and techniques in industry. Our goal is to empower you to become a better developer, one tutorial at a time. For more tutorials like this, check out the other videos on this channel. There is a wealth of knowledge waiting for you. Don't forget to engage with the end screen elements for further learning and explore related topics. If you have not already subscribed to Ayaz Tech, join our community platform where you can engage in discussions, get updates on new content and connect with the fellow developers. Together, let's continue growing and learning on this exciting development journey.